Hello, so I finished this model now and I want to present you the rig I've made for this. To start, I'm going to start with the heads and work my way down. I have X-ray joints turned on so you can see a little bit of my joint placement. So let's get started. Well, the head control is really the head control. It controls the position and rotation of my head. The neck is connected with a stretchy spline setup, so I can stretch and squash it around and it will preserve volume, so it looks realistic. So there's nothing special about the head. I have connected the jaw. The jawbone is driven with translate and rotate by the jaw control curve, so that gives me a little bit more freedom on animating jaw movements. Let's take a quick look at the tongue. The tongue was, well, I've never made something like this before because the tongue splits up into two tips at the end, and for that I have made 3 IK splines, one for the base and then 2 for the left and right side, and each one is controlled independently by such a curve. Now, as you can see here, I have 2 attributes called auto rotates and translate. These actually define whether the head's rotation and translation is driven by the upper body or not. So if I now move the upper body, the head will follow in position and rotation as it were apparent. Now if I put auto rotate to 0 and rotate the body, the head will stay planted. He will always look at the position that we define. This could be very useful for some special cases, and auto translate is just the same thing with the translation. Maybe this is not too, well, the head will stay fixed. So apart from the neck, I've also made the spine of this dragon stretchy, so when I stretch this here, also the stomach will stretch, and I've controlled the factor by these 2 attributes, lower and upper squash factor. Let me adjust the squash factor for the lower and the upper stomach. I usually leave this at 1. The lower body controller, there's nothing to this. It's a simple lower body controlling everything below. This is the upper body control, the center of gravity control. It controls the whole model except of the legs. Now for the tail, I have a special setup. This is a spline curve as well, and I have here auto tail. When I drag this to 1 and leave this auto follow as at 0, the tail will still follow. Now when I drag both to 0, tail will stay in position, which could be really good when, for instance, let me select all of the tail controls and turn down the auto follow, and now place. we can now really easy animate some snake-like effects on the tail, where the dragon is moving and the tail is slithering away, something like this. So this is a nice setup, and when I turn on the auto follow, this control curve will follow as it was a child of the other nodes, of the other control curves. So, oops, that one. Okay. Now the legs. You can see some similarities to the human legs. This is the thigh, the knee and the lower leg, and the foot with the toes. So I've made a 2-pivot control. I can control the leg for the ankle, and with this curve here I can control the leg from the ball of the foot. Now this control is the main control curve for the toes, and this has auto rotate and translate as well. So when I now try auto rotate to 0 and rotate the foot from the ankle, you see the toes will stay planted. I can bring this setup, auto translate defines the translation, so when I now move the foot, the toes will stay in position. Each of them are controlled by a rotate plane solver. So this, in my opinion, gives me nice effects. It's really easy to animate with this setup. I can bring the control even further and just control specific parts of the foot, having them controlled so that only the toe that you want will stay planted. So that was, now let's get to the wing. The wings can be controlled either by IK and FK. I've inserted the switch here. It's a Boolean switch, so it's not a smooth. Now I'm with FK. While in FK mode, translating this control curve doesn't have any effect. I need to find a way where I can hide and lock the translate attributes until we switch back to IK. So that I still can rotate the wing. This control gives me further control about the phalanx bones, and I can offset each of them with this curve, and everything will still move correctly. These are just parent constrained to this lower control curves. So let me undo this few steps till I get back to the base position now. This is the main control curve. It controls the whole dragon. You see here I have control curves. I can hide or show my control curves. Let me now hide the joints. And I have here a mesh quality attribute. When I set this to proxy, this is a really low polygon proxy mesh. It's still fully animatable. I still have all of the controls that I have on the high quality mesh. So this is nice for animating in high polygon populated scenes or something like that. Then low quality, this is this mesh. And when I now switch to high quality, it smoothes one level more. And the mesh looks like this. The next two attributes are only displayable, they mark the length and the amplitude of the striking. Now he is 7.3 meters long and 13.7 meters wide. So when I scale this guy up, the attributes will update so you can see really exactly how long and how wide he is. Now one last control is the eyes. The eyes are controlled by the standard aim constraint object. The only thing that I have changed, or that I have inserted extra, is this object is controlled by the eye. The object's rotation is controlled by the eye's rotation, so that you can really easily determine what this guy is looking at. And both of them are obviously controlled by a main control curve. And scaling the Y and the X to get this funny effect and also rotate. So that's about my dragon rig. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Bye bye.